Rodney Connor, obviously the economy, jobs are a major issue, but it does appear that David Cameron will target Northern Ireland. You're from a public service background. Did you see any waste when you were in the public service?
Daniel, first of all, people are talking about these slash and cut measures and all that David Cameron has said. But David Cameron has said, first of all, whatever measures are taken will be long term. I think 20 years was the period that he has been talking about.
20 years of cuts.
If you look at the financial package that we have been fortunate enough to benefit from for many years as part of the United Kingdom, most of it is made up by things like social security, benefits, job seekers allowances. All those are fixed at Westminster. Those can't be changed. You can't have a situation where people in Northern Ireland are being dealt with differently from the rest of the United Kingdom. Insofar as the block grants...
David Cameron targets those areas. Are you going to go along with what
I'm saying that in many areas, I believe that the bureaucracy can be cut out. I'm thinking that over a 20-year period, I'd be surprised if we can't find efficiency savings. I also say, Denzel, that the private sector, we have people in Fermanagh and South Tyrone who have lost their jobs, people who are working 2- and 3-day weeks in the private sector, people who have taken pay reductions. Why should the public sector be immune? 30% of the people employed in Northern Ireland are employed in the public sector. We have got to grow our private sector. We've got to finance growth for small businesses. We have over 100 new businesses starting in Fermanagh every year. We have got to make sure that we have the funding being channeled in to help them to get established and then to grow. And if that means cutting out bureaucracy in other areas, then I'll certainly support it.
The issue of cuts and jobs and the economy and so on is obviously a major issue. When we look through the questions, if we could just read a few of them. Councillor Cyril Brownlee, what can you do to help the business and the people of Fermanagh South Tyrone to deal with the challenges of the economy? John Rooney, at a time when the region is threatened with substantial cuts in the public sector, what methods would your party propose to create jobs here and improve the economy? Stephen Mulligan, should unionist voters who are opposed to David Cameron's cutting agenda vote for Michelle Gildernew, as she presents the only option to keep a Tory out?
She actually give a potential vote to the Tories.
Joni McCarran asks, has Rodney Connor sought any commitments from the Tory party in exchange for his promise to take the Tory whip?
Lest the wrong impression be given, I am very pleased indeed to have the support of all the unionist parties. I am also pleased to have the support of many people who are not affiliated to any political party. And I can assure you that the support that I have got from all sections of the community has given me great encouragement. That has been fortified again by my canvassing around the doors, where everyone has made me welcome and has welcomed the fact that they now have the opportunity to vote for someone who is not any party member and who will represent them and be a strong voice for them at Westminster.
Those people are not affiliated, Rodney. Would you say that they're members of the Orange Order? And is it true that the present deal was cobbled together with DUP, UUP, TUV and the Tories and the Orange Order in an Orange Hall in Fermanagh?
What I can say for definite is that I am not a member of any political party or any political organisation.
But is it true that the Orange Order come up with this present coalescing?
Nor have I ever been. And I can also assure everyone that I have never been at any meeting such as described by yourself. If you wish to speak to other groups about how they have handled the matter, you should speak to them. I can assure you that I have never spoken to any member of, or officially any member of the Orange Order. Some of the people I was speaking to may well have been members of the Orange Order, I don't know. But I have never had any discussion with any group.
Rodney paints a very comfortable picture of, sort of everybody in armchairs sitting around, benign support and all the rest of it. Ultimately, it's going to come down to who's going to run Rodney. Rodney's a decent man, but he's not his own man. And that's very, very important. We know already that he's hitched his wagon to the Tories. But who, between the Ulster Unionists and the DUP, is actually going to control them? I got a little glimpse of a possibility of an answer last night when I was driving through Belfast. And on a poster from the DUP was, "We want an MP who's answerable to us, not the Tories." So the Unionist Party will have to think just who will control Rodney Connor afterwards. The DUP certainly wants to make it clear that it's going to be in the driving seat.
Fergal, it has already been made clear that no matter which party forms the new government in Westminster, there will be hard decisions to be made.
But you've tied your...
What I'm saying is that I am going to be in a better position than anyone else to influence those decisions and to protect the interests of the people of this area. We have got to be in the front of the queue. At the moment, we're not even in the queue.
Right now, the Tories get in, we will be in the front of the queue for the massive cuts that are coming, and it will affect every single person. It'll affect on all of the big things that we have tried to do. We've delivered on rural transport, on rural fuel poverty, on rural childcare, on issues that affect marginalised people who are isolated and for whom funding has been a fallacy at times. The people up the lanes in Fermanagh, the people who live without access to decent services now are going to be so much worse off. And in this election, it's me or a Tory. That's it. There's only one nationalist can win this seat, and Fearghal ain't it.
And the reality is, Michelle, the reality, I have to finish on that point then. So the reality is, in that situation, Michelle's just recounted all her assembly duties. That's got nothing to do with Westminster. The budget is what will be decided. The budget is what will be decided.
We've covered that subject very well. I'm conscious that a few people are trying to get in here, but I want to move the discussion on. We have a second question from Mr. Larry McCusker.
One of the key issues is employing family members, is MPs and assembly members, etc., employing family members. Do you think it's appropriate for politicians or whichever you will be the new MP for, or the MP for Fermanagh South Tyrone after this election, to employ family members? And if you are elected, will you employ family members?
Michelle Gildernew.
Well, I don't employ family members. It's Sinn Féin policy that we don't employ family members, but it's also Sinn Féin policy that we don't believe in double jobbing. I work to one institution, and that's the Assembly. And Fearghal's wrong. I didn't recount my Assembly duties. I recounted all the things that I've added to the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development and brought additional benefit to me being a minister into rural constituencies. In terms of double jobbing and the family issue, Laurie, again, we don't believe, first of all, Sinn Féin doesn't take their full salary. We take home the average industrial wage. The rest of the money is put back into providing a constituency service. As MPs, as an MP, I don't get a wage at all from Westminster. I don't think it's right that people can take home 3 or 4 salaries, 3 or 4 expenses, and all the rest of it, all at public expense. That's absolutely wrong. Now, all the parties were damaged in the recent expenses row, and rightly so, because people milked the system. There was a gravy train at Westminster, and people milked it dry. And the worst offenders were Rodney's crowd. Again, the Duck Islands and the moats, etc., etc. People need to understand that the person who represents this constituency has to be passionate about the people of this constituency, has to want to deliver for those people, and has to work tirelessly on their behalf. And I have done that for the past 9 years. I am very proud of my record of delivery. I'm very proud of the things that I have been able to achieve as MP for Fermanagh South Tyrone. And fleecing the taxpayer and fleecing the people who represent me is not part of that agenda.
Further. MP's expenses, double jobbing, where do you stand? Your party leader's hoping to get to Westminster as well?
Yes, she's hoping to get to Westminster, and she argues, and I agree with her, that you need to have, as a leader, a foot in both camps in that respect. To answer your question directly on whether or not I would employ family members, no, I don't believe that we should employ family members. I believe that we should take the best of the crop locally, if they're available, to be employed on behalf of the constituency. So my pledge would be that all the money that will come to the constituency and be ploughed back into the constituency, so that we can assure a best service for you.
Rodney Connor, on the issue of employing family members, expenses, etc.
Well, first of all, I thought that the whole expensive scandal was disgraceful. And I will never defend anyone who has done wrong, no matter who they are. I think the system that allowed that to happen is the first thing that has to be sorted out. And I'd hope that that system will be changed in such a way to ensure that that doesn't happen again. Michelle was indicating there a few moments ago about the need for commitment to your job. I think over the 33 years that I've been serving the people of this area, I have shown that full commitment. And I must say the very generous remarks that were made by all the political parties on my retirement substantiated that. So I think my record is there for anyone to see.